Hi, and welcome to Secrets of the Obvious, episode 21. And I start off with the question was, what I often use, little I and big I and little m mind and big M mind, and then completely capitalized MIND mind. What's the difference? So obviously, before our dream of separation, before we, the Holy Son of God, fell asleep and dreamt up the universe and split ourselves up, there was just God. There's just God. God alone is. God is pure love. God is pure light as a concession, not the light of the universe. That's false light, true light beyond the spectrum of eye. Our eyes have no ability to see true light. We get glimpses. But it's literally just light, love, light expanding eternally. And that expansion of light we term the sonship. The extension of light is God's sonship. God abides as light in the light. God abides as love in the sonship. Ever extending. For an analogy, simply for an analogy, let's say that light is made of billions of light particles. One such light particle, imagine a little ball of light, falls asleep and dreams of nothing, because he wants to know, it wants to know the difference between, or what is the opposite of what's all encompassing. And what's all encompassing has no opposite. So dreams of nothing, goes into darkness. God, light, extending, realizes one aspect of itself, one particle of itself is asleep. It calls that part, that son of itself, to awake. We now move into that particle of light. So that which is forever extending, we capitalize the whole word, M-I-N-D, mind, or G-O-D, God, or light, or love. That is all there is. But in that particle of light, which is a son, S-O-N, son of God, as he falls asleep, a part of him remains awake. That part which remains awake and retains the memory of being the light of God, we call that Christ mind, capital C, Christ mind, or capital S, self, the essential nature of our true Son of God self, capital S. But a part of our mind is now asleep, and it splits and dreams up billions of thoughts about what it could be. Every thought takes form, spirit. Okay. And every spirit then later projects later in time, because once it's asleep, it's in time, then projects into physical form, thoughts in form, physical body minds. Now, body mind, small m, mind of the fractured dreamer. Big M mind, the mind of the dreamer, the main character that's dreaming. Excuse me. Yes, bless me. Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. It's been at least 30 years since my last confession. So moving along swiftly. So small m mind, mind of the dreaming character. Dreaming character, small mind. The minute it moves into awake mind, so one half of the mind is awake, capital M mind, capital S self. Dreaming character, small self, yourself, the little self, the identity, small self. Dreaming mind is the self. Wake mind, capital S self. So it's fractures of one indivisible one. All of this is happening in God, but God's unaware of what's happening in the dreamer's mind. Take this, for example. You have a little child sleeping in your arms, and he starts to make ugly little faces, and he starts to cry in his dreams. You're aware he's dreaming. He's crying. He's making ugly faces. Something's wrong. He's dreaming of a nightmare. You want to wake him up. You speak softly into his ear and you say, wake up, wake up. You're dreaming. You haven't left my arms. You're still safe in your father's arms. The baby is dreaming. The Son of God is dreaming. God isn't aware of what the Son is dreaming. He's just aware his Son is dreaming. His voice, his essence, which is the same essence as the baby, is calling the baby to remember. The baby, there's a part of the baby's mind that is still awake. If it wasn't, it would stop dreaming. It would stop breathing. That part of the baby which retains the memory of being the son, the baby, is the Christ mind, the right mind, the self. The part which is dreaming is the ego, the dreaming mind, the little self, the little S self, the little M mind. When the baby awakens in his father's arms, realizes, I've never left the kingdom. That God made the child, created the child, extended the child. The child didn't make God. And that's where the Advaita gets it wrong, because in the Advaita traditions, they say God is dreaming. No, no, no. God isn't dreaming. God is aware his son is dreaming. The son's having a dream. Jiva, the dream characters, that which the dreaming son is imagining. When the son awakens to himself, the Atman, the Christ. The Christ is the essential nature of the Christ, of the Atman is the essential nature of the Brahman, Father. Father, Son, dreaming mind. In the dreaming mind is the memory of God, Holy Spirit. Jiva, Atman, Brahman. Father, Son, Spirit. One indivisible family. One indivisible self. I hope that clears it up. I'll stop.